And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. Another week, another PK live in the books. Oh my goodness. Pokemon Day, huh? Man, I don't know if I'm alone on this. Maybe I'm alone on this island. Maybe I'm the only one. But I was really hoping we were going to get a big announcement going on by Pokemon. I feel like for the most part, there were not a lot of big announcements. The only announcements we got was on PokeBeach.com. We got that GameStop is now selling Pokemon TCG product above MSRP upon release. Pokemon Legends EA releases in late 2025. The Megas, which we already kind of knew about, nobody was wondering if the Megas were going to get released. Pokemon Championship game announced for Switch and mobile, which will feature score battles. That's cool. And then, yeah. That's about it. That was Pokemon Day. It was kind of a letdown for Pokemon Day. I was hoping we could get some crazier stuff, but what else happened for Pokemon Day? Everybody was waiting for restocks. Everyone. Shout out to Kiki in the RAL Discord. Kiki brought up a good theory. So one of the things a lot of people was waiting for was Best Buy. So Best Buy was releasing Bloom & Waters boxes on bestbuy.com, and they were going to do like a pretty big restock. At least that's what a lot of people thought. And as soon as you logged on, you had to download the Best Buy app. How many people downloaded the Best Buy app? Raise your hand. It sounds like it's just a big conspiracy theory. Is your hand still raised? That might have been you. I think it was just a big conspiracy. Kiki brought up the point that might just be a big theory, a big conspiracy theory that Best Buy just didn't have a lot of Bloom & Waters collection boxes to begin with, and it was just like a big scam for them to maybe get people to download the app, because I downloaded the app. I didn't have the Best Buy app. I now have the Best Buy app, and knowing how apps work on phones, listen, once you download an app on a phone, you have that app forever. It's the joke, right? It's a meme. Like, once you have an app, you have it forever. It felt like that. A lot of people sat in that Bloom & Waters queue, and nobody got any. I've never seen so many L's, like, across the board, where no one got anything. And I'm not talking about this wasn't supposed to be a big restock. This was like an advertised big restock that was on like the front page of the app and everything, like a special live deal. There was a lot of people, and I didn't hear of anybody. Not one person who got a W on Best Buy. So it seems like maybe they were doing it. Now, on the other hand, Target.com. If you guys are not in that Rattle Discord, I don't know. At this point, you guys are lost causes if you're not in the Rattle Discord, because Target now, on the other hand, they did have huge restocks. Their restocks were so big. Shout out to Tap. Big shout out to Tap. Tap, if you guys don't know, Tap is one of the guys that runs the bots in the Rattle Discord. Tap is doing a great job, first of all. Big shout out to Tap. But with that said, Target. A lot of people had dubs through Target. The 151. And Tap brought up a good point to me. Said that the 151 restocks were so big that we're already starting to see the prices of the secondary in the market start to trickle down because of how big that Target 151 restock was. So, I mean, that's a good thing. But, I mean, that's just one website. It really makes you start to ponder, too, how much stock is Target getting, because it seemed like they had a ton of it. And the reason why, a lot of people got W's is because if you look in the Rattle Discord, in the restock bot, when something posts, you'll see people do the check mark to say if they got it or not. And there was a lot of green check marks, way more green check marks than we usually see. Usually it's like maybe you see one, maybe you see two green check marks, but it was a ton. And Tap was the one that pointed out to me that the prices are already starting to trickle down a little bit on the 151. Now, is that probably going to be a temporary thing? Yes, but we are in the... one of the funny things I've seen people asking is 151 going to get another reprint? And it's like, no. We are being reprinted. Like, this is the reprint. The fact that people are asking, will there be a reprint? No, this is the reprint. We are living in the moment. When your Costco's are having people elbow each other in the face for Bloom & Waters, that is reprint. GameStop, this is reprint. Best Buy, this is reprint. Like, we are living in the 151 reprint, and while prices are starting to trickle down a little bit, it's not too crazy. So, hey, we're just living in it. We're living in it. I don't want to make... I'm going to do my best not to have the same video I had last week, but things aren't going to get better for the near term. I think they will, hopefully. But, man, it's... What the heck? Like, where's all the restocks today? There should have been way more. The demand for Prismatic is crazy. So, I have a local LGS, like, account over, and whenever I go to... I have like a PO box, I have a private mailbox, and when I go to my private mailbox, I have to pass this LGS, and if I pass it at the right time of the day, and I have time, like it's at the end of the day, I will stop at this LGS just to walk in. It's something I do maybe quarterly. I don't do it a lot of times a year, but I do it quarterly, and when I go in there, I always pick up a bunch of product. Not sealed product, just a bunch of singles. I walked in there, shelves completely bare. There was 2 other people walking in looking for Pokemon. The shelves were completely, like, all the product. He has like a couple graded cards, but he always had a lot of singles. Everything was pretty much cleared out. The only thing he had left was like graded cards, but it was all like well over market. But I understand what he was doing. He's just literally trying to keep stuff on the shelves. But all his sealed product, 100%. He didn't even have like a build and battle deck. Nothing. Everything was 100% sold out. And this is a store that I used to go in all the time. Like I said, I'm never usually one to buy sealed product at LGSs, but like I said, I always look at the singles. But anytime I would ever walk in there past, the shelves would always at least have product. Completely bare bones, completely empty. And you can see him back there, and he was like, yeah, we don't have anything right now. And he said ever since Surgeon Sparks, that was the word that came out of his mouth. They don't really know who I am or anything, so I don't ever say anything like that. And then like some of the other people in there, nobody recognizes me, which is great. And I just, shake my head. I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. And, I'll ask to see their dollar binder. I'll ask to see this just to go through it and see if there's anything that's worthwhile for me. But it's something I've been doing now periodically for years and years and years, and completely empty. And I'm seeing it. And I'm like, all right, these guys are struggling. Everybody else is struggling to get product. Like, even when the reprints come, there's going to be a weird, like, just a restock time where even if these people do get product, it's going to take a while just to replenish their shelves. The same with the Targets and your Walmarts. And it's like you go to all these stores and you start to say, okay, you go into one Walmart, you go into one Target, you go into one LGS. Like, what is one store in the macro aspect of this hobby? Like, one store is nothing. But then it's like, well, every store I go into, they're all empty. And it's like, well, to just restock every store in the country, every LGS, every big box retail, every Walgreens, every Target, every Walmart, every Best Buy, every GameStop, every Party City, every Dollar General, every million places you can get Pokemon cards. It's like, that's a lot. That's a lot just to get product on the shelves, and you're not even selling anything at that point. That is in a vacuum where you're just putting product onto the shelf, and somehow said product is no longer selling. It's no longer moving. It's just sitting on the shelves long enough where from restock to restock there's inventory. It's like, doesn't even feel like that. I'm seeing people really talking about like Pokemon vending machines and stuff. I'm seeing all these weird conversations taking place, and I'm just saying, like, man, like, how long's the timeline gonna last? And I just keep thinking, 30th anniversary, we're a year away. It's Pokemon Day. It makes you think about it. It's like, this is the 29th anniversary of Pokemon. We are 1 year away from the 30th anniversary. And we are, right now, one set away before we get the Journey Together. We're 2 sets away from Journey Together. Then we get the Team Rocket set. I'm still calling it the Team Rocket set. Yeah, I'm a boomer. Whatever. We're getting the Team Rocket set. I opened up a lot of battle partners. I was worried about Journey Together at first. Seemed like it was going to be a smaller set. The Lily's Clefairy, I would start to think about this. Nah. I opened up battle partners. Great set. Salamence, it's going to be solid. It's not going to be the best set ever. It's going to be, very similar to, like, a lot of like the mid-tier sets, kind of, the sets that maybe get a little overlooked. I wouldn't say Lost Thunder. I still think like a Lost Thunder is a underrated set, but say more like maybe a Forbidden Light. Maybe it'll be treated more like a Forbidden Light, where you still got a good Greninja or something like that, but people don't really talk about it when they talk about like great sets of a timeline. Maybe that will be where, I don't even know. Maybe that's where Journey Together. Maybe Journey Together will be like a Forbidden Light type set, but who knows? It's got a Salamence in it. It's got a Lily's Clefairy. It's tough when sets when like the big chase is a full art trainer. We'll see. Give it time. But I don't know. Usually, historically, the hobby doesn't like trainer sets, but I'm just kind of throwing out a lot of that. A lot of that, just trying to think things through. It's like, doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't matter. And then with the Team Rocket set right around the heels, and I keep looking at Pokemon Pocket too, and people always know I've been on the channel a lot of times, and I've talked about a lot of hypotheticals, and the one that I always keep throwing up is like, if Pokemon ever wanted the one set that breaks the hobby, is the Super Smash Brothers set. I've been talking about that since this channel was new. Non-stop, I've been talking about the what if we had a Super Smash Brothers set. Like, we already know Pikachu could wear clothes. We already know Pikachu could wear Nintendo IP. Shout out to Mario Pikachu. Shout out to the Mario Luigi. Mario and Luigi, both Super Smash Bros. Characters. Could you get a Pikachu with a snake outfit on? Pikachu Samus. Pikachu Fox. Like, any of these Super Smash Bros. Characters, like, game over. Like, give me a Pikachu snake card from Metal Gear Solid, and I'll be happy. Just give me the Pikachu with the Pikachu hat from Super Smash. Like, there would just be forget about it. Like a Pikachu Samus, it'd be, like I said, Super Smash Brothers set would always be the set that just destroys the hobby, and we would never be able to rebuild from it. I just think it would. Everyone would want it. Like, it would just be one of those sets where, right now we think it's crazy that boxes are $169 MSRP and they're selling out on PokemonCenter.com. You get a Super Smash Brothers set where, like, non-SIRs are cool full arts of full art Pikachus dressed up in cosplay of, like, Super Smash Brothers characters, or you get, like, a Charmander dressed up, or you get a Bulbasaur dressed up. You get, like, a Charmander Donkey Kong. Game over. I mean, it's over, right? So I always talk about that, but with that, that doesn't have to happen. But like, now I'm just looking at Pokemon Pocket. I don't play it that often, but when I do play it, I'm like, every single new Pokemon Pocket expansion that comes out, the cards that are being released digital wise are some of the best Pokemon cards we've ever seen. And I know, I get it. Listen, it's a meme. The best set Pokemon has ever created is always the next set, and it has been that way, and it will continue to be that way. Listen, right now, currently, the most modern set, what's the most modern set? Like, the most current set is Prismatic Evolutions, because Journey Together hasn't been released. What is the best set Pokemon has ever made? A lot of people are probably going to tell you it's Prismatic Evolutions. It's a meme. I know. It's always been a meme. We didn't just create this, where the best set ever is the newest set for Prismatic Evolutions. This is not a new thing. This is literally, like, as true about Pokemon. The newest, most modern set is the greatest set Pokemon ever made. And there's probably a lot of people telling you Prismatic Evolution's the greatest set. 33 SIRs, 9 of those being 8 of them being evolutions. One of the evolutions is going to be coming out in the Super Premium Collection. Already starting to see all the craziness happen with the Super Premium Collection. Oh, man, the Pokemon Day Eevee reverse holo promos from the 2-pack blisters. Good luck. Couldn't get those. Like, good luck. Oh, it's just, we're in it. We're living in it. We're booming it. We're this Pikachu. We're on the rocket ship. There's stacks of cash around everybody. There's a lot of money in this hobby. One of the things I always think about, and a lot of people have it, and then, it's a conversation we used to have, and then it's had, and then it gets dropped, and everyone just likes to compare it to sports and compare it to the junk wax era. And this is not a new conversation, but I do feel that there are new people re-entering Pokemon. So I will have, like, the quick junk wax era conversation with a lot of people, even though we've already had this conversation. And shout out to Jake and Java. They were having a conversation, and one of the conversations that Jake mentioned during that live was, Jake said a lot of people don't want to have certain conversations anymore because they're repeating information that they've already said in the past. And when I heard that from Jake, and I was like, you know what, Jake's right. There's a lot of stuff I gloss over and I just don't want to talk about it because it's a conversation that has already been had, but then I need the perspective that there are new people. So, you know, the big difference about sports in the junk wax era is there was just a lot of companies printing sports. You had, I'm not a sports expert, but you had your Tops and your Don Russ and your Upper Deck and whatever other, I don't even know, Tops, Don Russ, Upper Deck, Leaf, Flair, I don't even know. There was 100 different people making sports cards at the time. So you had 5 different variations of a, you know, Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card. It's like, well, which Ken Griffey, there's 5 different Ken Griffey Jr. cards. Which one's the more expensive one? It's like, the Upper Deck one's more expensive. What about this one? What about this one? Oh, this one's from Tops. This one's Don Russ. Like, which one matters? Well, this one got, it just got too confusing. And that was where, like, junk wax really got pumped out. One of the differences about Pokemon is there is only the one company. It's Pokemon is where the train starts and where the train ends. It's like Pokemon's the only one printing. Now, there's a lot of factories printing Pokemon. The one that we always talk about is Millennium Print Group. Millennium Print Group is not the one that not the only one printing Pokemon, but it's definitely the one that we talk about the most. So, you know, you don't have that many printers printing Pokemon. But with that said, year over year, we're seeing more and more cards printed, and we're not just seeing more and more cards printed, we're seeing billions more cards. You know, one of the things people talk about is they'll say, well, why is this Sun and Moon stuff so scarce? Why is this XY stuff more scarce? Why is black and white seem scarce? It's like, well, at the time, none of the stuff was scarce, but it becomes scarce because of just simple supply versus demand. And when that demand is just keeps growing exponentially year over year, like, a lot of people aren't going to understand this, but like XY, extremely overprinted. Everything is perspective during the moment, during the time. Evolutions. I don't have it. Evolutions, right? This to a lot of people might be like, oh, that's a cool pack. Evolutions. XY12, the last set of XY. Oh, Evolutions is cool. It had the reprints in it. It had the original Charizard artwork, or Charizard holo reprint in it. Yeah, they didn't get the Blastoise. They didn't get the Venusaur, but Evolutions was printed to the ground. One of the things, too, is a lot of people love the quote, like $70, $80 booster boxes for Evolutions, but make no mistake about it. When Evolutions was released, it was right in 2016. It was in the peak of, like, our mini Pokemon boom we were going in. 2025, where we are right now, there is no boom like we are in today, but just for you to take a second and think perspective, in 2016 there was a huge boom going on, and a lot of that was driven by Pokemon Go, the actual app game on the phone, but there was a lot of trickle-down effect, and Evolutions was very expensive at release. And you know what Pokemon did? They reprinted it, and then they reprinted it, and they reprinted it, and they reprinted it, and you know what? Evolutions was in every single tin, every single collection box from the end of XY. It was the last set of XY, and it continued through all of Sun and Moon, and there were still XY Evolutions packs into Sword and Shield products in early 2020, 2021. That is how much Evolutions existed. Now, Evolutions was a good set. People see certain Pokemon. They see those original 102 Pokemon, or, well, 150 Pokemon, but you know what I mean. Like, the original base set was 102 cards. They see those 102 cards, with the exception of the Venusaur, the Blastoise, a couple of the big ones, but which I'll never understand why Venusaur and Blastoise half arts were not in there. Yeah, we got the Megas and stuff. Okay. Base set is 102 cards for the base set. Evolutions is 108. We're really going deep down the rabbit hole to things that don't really matter. But, you know, like, a lot of people will look at that and they'll think it's a cool set right now, but like that, so in the time period, Evolutions got printed to oblivion, and there was supply for years and years, and Evolution, the booster boxes, stayed stagnant at that $80 to $90 mark for years, and Evolutions became, for the most part, unsellable until eventually the only person in the history of this hobby who I've said from day one, and I'll keep saying, the only person who's ever undefeated in this hobby is Father Time. There's nobody else. Father Time has been, will be, or has been, is, and will be forever undefeated. Father Time just keeps ticking until eventually all the XY Evolutions product was eaten up, and we did go into another boom, which was that 2020, 2021 timeline. But XY Evolutions was printed into oblivion. Print numbers didn't matter. Sun and Moon got printed even that much more. Different sets of Sun and Moon, there's a huge variance for Sun and Moon. Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, Sun and Moon base got printed and printed and printed and printed and reprinted, and that's why Sun and Moon is still to this day one of the cheapest packs. Sun and Moon had a weird thing where original booster boxes, Sun and Moon, were mappable. Nobody's mapping Sun and Moon booster boxes anymore. Nobody's breaking down Sun and Moon booster boxes. And then there was weird reprints of Sun and Moon base set ETBs real late into 2020, 2021 timeline, like weird reprints of Sun and Moon base set. And then there was just some sets that just got skipped altogether. A lot of that did take place because of the pandemic, of the shutdown of the printers, because we're talking non-essential businesses. Your team ups, Unbroken Bonds. So your last 4 sets, Team Up, Unbroken Bonds, Unified Minds, Cosmic Eclipse. Unified Minds did get a decent reprint. Unbroken Bonds got a booster box reprint. Unified Minds got a weird reprint of like 3-pack blisters and stuff that got trickled out into Walmart. They were more specialty products, but Team Up didn't really get a reprint. And then Cosmic Eclipse was definitely on the docket for a reprint, and that just didn't happen because the printer shut down. And then we ended up seeing little Cosmic Eclipse reprints, kind of just single packs and a couple different, I think it was the D21, I don't know, I can't remember, D21 Pokeballs, who knows, don't quote the number, but whatever. One of the Pokeballs had Cosmic Eclipse in it. Obviously the Arceus figure collection boxes had reprints, so Cosmic Eclipse did get a reprint, just we didn't get booster box of it. And like, that's the thing, like, the pandemic's changed it up. But then even with Sword and Shield, we saw a lot of cards get printed for Sword and Shield, and then there were sets that they just didn't go back and reprint. Like those real, like we talked about the last 4 for Sun and Moon. We'll talk about the first 4 for XY, excuse me, I keep saying XY. Sword and Shield, Sword and Shield base set, Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage. Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage were super in demand. Prices went up crazy for those booster boxes. Pokemon said, you want to reprint? Hold my beer. They reprinted the shit out of Darkness Ablaze. They reprinted the shit out of Vivid Voltage, to the point where those sets are still both not performing as good as most other sets. And then where Rebel Clash didn't get reprints, look at the Rebel Clash ETB. Sword and Shield base didn't get big reprints. Like, this is the thing. Pokemon will go back and they will reprint some of this stuff. Some of these sets are primed for reprints, but some of these sets could also get really, really hurt right now with reprints. Because I will tell you right now, there's a word that doesn't get thrown out around enough in this hobby, but it's the fickleness of the Pokemon hobby, and there is a lot of fickleness that goes on. There are people entering this hobby right now, and you ever hear people say, this isn't my first rodeo? Well, there is a lot of people where this is their first rodeo. It will be very interesting to see how, 1, Pokemon navigates reprints in this craziness, and number 2, how people entering this hobby now handle reprints. Because if you've never seen stuff go down ever, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Because when stuff never goes down, you don't know what loss feels like. You don't know what stagnation feels like. Right now we are in the booms of booms. This is it. Now, does this booms of booms continue? Like, we are already in a, call it 5-6 year boom easily. The boom's already been happening. Yeah, there was a little bit of down times, but stuff was still going up across the board. You could look at me on all my channel and all. I pretty much haven't missed a beat on this channel. I have thousands of hours, thousands with an S, untold amount of numbers. And even when we were in our down times, as I walked through the valley, $79, $95 booster box, like, things were still booming at that time. Things were still expensive. The sell-through rate for a lot of the stuff was still pretty crazy. This is going to be the interesting. How does Pokemon navigate this? Like, a lot of people say, one of the big weird things I heard people say was, we've never seen a ETB pre-order for like 130, 150. Yes, we did. Shining Fates, the set I don't even know. Maybe Shining Fates finally went out of sale on Pokemon Center. Took years. But Shining Fates pre-ordered for 150. Like, people forget that. Like, but then the people that are saying that too, that we've never seen a set pre-order for a 150, you want to know the truth? Maybe they say that that's never happened because maybe they honestly weren't even around for Shining Fates. Like, we're in it, man. But we're cruising for a bruising with the restocks, We'll see what happens. Like, when people are just have this mindset that I struggle with the thought of, all right, let me rephrase this. I try to put myself in the shoes of the new collector. What would it be like if you've never seen product on the shelves? I mean, I throw that question out there. If you are a person entering the hobby in 2025, you have never seen product on shelves. And if you have to just catch restocks. You've never just been able to walk into a Walmart or Target and just look on the shelf and see every single product there. If you didn't want to buy it on Target, you could go on Amazon and you could go look on Amazon. If you didn't want to buy on Amazon, you go on PokemonCenter.com. If PokemonCenter.com was too expensive, you could go look on eBay. And if eBay's too expensive, then you could just go look in your local Facebook group and there's somebody just trying to dump seal product out. Like, imagine being in the hobby and you've never seen any of that. Like, you've never seen MSRP on eBay. You've never seen P football P. You don't understand why people say the word P football P. You're like, that means nothing to me. What does that mean? You don't understand what $80 booster boxes online. You've never been able to have your pick. You've never seen 151 UPCs sit at Costco at $80 an ETB or a 151, not ETB, 151 UPC just sit at $80 and nobody wanted it. You've never seen that. I don't know what this hobby would be like. I try to put myself in the shoes and it's like, wow, you've never seen that. You don't know PSA turnaround times being 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. The magical people that sent bulk submissions and they had it turned around in a week, and other people sent it express and it came. PSA, listen. First in, fuck off. That is the FIFO. That is the PSA mindset. First in, fuck off. Listen, when it's not first in, first out. No, it's first in, go fuck yourself. That's what it is. But like, there's some people who've never even experienced that. And it's like, they've only known the hardships of this hobby. And, it's an interesting thing. It's like, would you rather be, it's kind of like, how would you be, what's that saying? It's like, hard times make tough men, easy times make soft men, or something like that. I forget what it is. It's easy times make soft men make hard times make hard men, hard men make easy times. That's how it goes. So it's like a big cycle. It goes from, the easy times make the easy men, but the easy men make the hard times, and then the hard times make the hard men, and then the hard men make the easy times. And, we went through the booms and the busts, so, there are people that have entered in 2020, and those were hard times. And then those hard times made hard men out of that. But then those hard men that came out of 2020, guess what? They made really, really easy times for a while. They made $80 booster boxes and stuff. And then those easy times made easy people. And those easy people have now made hard times right now today. And these hard times are going to make hard people. And then those hard people make easy times. That's how it's going to keep going. That's this hobby. It's a pretty good conversation. Listen, guys. Normally, I got a lot I got to get off my chest right now, but I can't. The reason why I cannot do that is because, if you guys do not know, right now going on Fanatics, we got Mr. Dan Catch 'em All Collectibles and Ponga. So if you guys don't know, I do stream on Fanatics. If you guys look in the description of this video, there is a link to my Fanatics live stream. So I do stream on Fanatics 9 times a week, Monday through Friday, 11 to 2 p.m. And then I stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And then on Thursdays and Sundays, Ponga streams. So Ponga is streaming right now. They are doing a Jungle First Edition booster box break for Pokemon Center Day. So I do want to funnel you guys over there. Let them know that it's a PK raid. I do appreciate you guys. I'm probably going to do probably going to end up doing a Saturday morning stream, because tonight won't be enough for me to get off some of the stuff I need to say off my chest. For that, I'm sorry. So I'm probably going to end up doing a Saturday midday stream. But this is the link to Fanatics. If you guys look in the description of my video, there's a $25 referral link. If you go into and you use the code KETCHUM20, you will get $20 off your first purchase. All right, guys, I do appreciate every single one of you. And as always, catch you on the next stream. Tune in Saturday for me to just go unhinged. Later, guys.